Up in Big Sky Country lives a man the locals call the preacher. Ranching was never his passion, but with 1,000 head of cattle, a man grows into it. You see, ever since the tragic death of his mother when he and his brother were young, the preacher has set his eyes on things above, and with the year he has had with the loss of his older brother, from a heart attack in Baxter Springs to the recent loss of his father here in Loma, Montana, he has had to step up and be the rancher his father raised him to be while keeping with what the Lord has in store for him. This is his story.
5 dawn, he's 1,000 head strong, but come evening, he's a soul-winning reacher. This is the preacher.
Never thought I'd be back living in Montana. Then again, I never thought my dad would pass away at such a young age. But here I am, hauling a bull to the ranch to try to increase our dairy production. There aren't many dairy cattle here in Montana, but we run about 300 head on a regular basis. Getting them to produce milk, well, that's a different story. Hoping this bull will help with that. You might be asking yourself, how does a bull help produce milk? Well, they don't, but we're hoping to have more calves out of these cows. So with more calves, makes more cows, which hopefully in return will make more milk. And thinking back, this was all Dad's thing. He was the one that took care of the dairy cows, and when I would help out, I'd help out with the beef stock. But here we are at the barn. Let's try to get this pulled in here and get this one bull dropped off and see if it does the trick to produce more of these beautiful milkers here. Let me get this pulled around to the other side and get them dropped off. This will actually be the first dairy bull we've had on the farm in a while. Let me see, we should be getting pretty close to the building here. Oh no, got a ways to go, but I do need to get this door open. Go ahead and get her opened up here. Hopefully this bull's tame enough, because I'm not going to be able to get all the way back against the building. I don't have any gates over here to lock the trailer in. But it always worked out good for Dad, so let's see if I can do the same thing here. There, let's get him offloaded. There he is. He is in the barn somewhere. Must have ran out with the girls already. This is our dairy barn here on the farm. They're all fenced in. I mean, they don't come into the barn too much except for when we feed them hay, but as you can tell, they have plenty of grass out there. But here, you know, hot Montana weather, sometimes the grass doesn't grow the best. Now that we got the dairy barn all situated, need to get some hay in them. I mean, they do have all that grass out in the pasture, but you know, the cows still like to run up and get some fresh hay. So this right here on our right, this is our little hay storage, and this building here, we're going to put silage in it today. We're all out of silage right now. I need to produce some silage, and this bay right here is where the silage is going to be going. But let's pull up here. We'll hop in the tractor, and we're going to try, see what we can do. I got plenty of hay bales in the barn here. Of course, we need to make some more hay too. We do have an alfalfa field ready, but let's hop in the Massey here, pull it up, and we will go ahead and put some square bales in it. The only loader tractor we actually have here on the farm is this Kubota here. But it'll easily pull 3 bales at a time. I shouldn't say easily. It's quite a bit for it to do it, but let me spin this thing around. We'll grab 3 bales and get that dropped off. That'll pretty well fill up our hopper with 3 of them. Thankfully, it does have wheel weights on the back to try to keep the back wheels down. Let's see if I can try to back out of here without hitting the wall. There we go. These 3 put in, and we'll be able to start feeding cattle. It does start getting a little wobbly if I turn too quick. There we go. It should drop off there. Oh, yeah, I hope they stay in. Let's grind them up good, but boy, they want to hop out. Well, let's go ahead and run that tractor over to the dairy barn. It does look like they're all going to stay in there. So we'll actually go back and I will show you some of our beef cattle back here. Got a trail back down this lane. Need to get out here one of these days and cut back some of this brush. It's kind of overgrowing across our trail. But back here is our bigger cattle operation. We actually have 598 limousine heifers in this pen, and there's 2 bulls in there. Ah, they think I'm feeding them, coming up to the bunks already. But let's get over to the dairy barn and drop this hay off. The dairy barn, you know, has 300 Holstein cows, and then of course that 1 bull we just put in there. And we got another pen up on the hill. I'll show you that one later. Let's get through here, a little trail through the trees. Nice and shaded in here though, but we'll get over to that barn and get this hay dropped off for them. Now if I would have gone the way I normally go, we wouldn't have this gate to have to deal with. Normally I just go out onto the road and come right into the barn and I have to worry about any gates, but here we are. We do have just the 1 gate to deal with. Then we'll pull this thing in the barn and drop off whatever hay we got in here. Sure, close this gate so they don't come running out. I've actually been pretty good today. Some days they'll follow me right out the gate. But they're doing good now. Jump back over the gate and hop back in and get this thrown in the barn. Alright, make sure it's going in right. Yeah, it's going good. Oh, looks like we already have a cow coming in. I knew if I'd start feeding them hay, there'd be a cow come in. I thought maybe it'd be more than 1, but just 1 so far. This should give them enough hay to get through the day, and like I said, we'll go make some alfalfa bales later and some silage now. So let's head back to the barn over there and start getting our silage equipment set up. Figured I kind of need that tractor and equipment left here at the hay operation, so we'll just run the pickup and cattle trailer back over. It's actually this cornfield here on our right. That's going to be what we're going to be chopping up. Our house is up there on the hill, as you can see. You can kind of see it up there. That's where we live. But down this trail here is another one of our barns that we keep all of our harvesting equipment in. So we'll run up here and we'll hop in that silage chopper. And here is our we have 1 horse actually on the ranch. His name is Oliver, named after my dad's favorite tractor. But here we are. This is where all of our harvesting stuff is stored. Let's park the pickup here. Hopefully it'll be out of our way. There we go. Run in. Try to get that big door opened up. And got a couple combines in there as well. But right now we just need the chopper. The wagon's also up in here. There we go. There's our crone wagon. Flip this door open. And right behind it we actually have a New Holland chopper. Where most of our hired hands come to have their breaks and set up camp, start their days. But we'll get this thing fired up and try to see if we can weasel our way out of here to hook that wagon up. We might just have the tractor hook it up. I'm not sure yet. It's kind of a tight fit. I really don't want to run into one of our combines. I think if I can turn the back end, since it's steers with the rear, obviously, we can get out of here. Try not to run over our little Kubota that we just parked. Alright. There we go. Perfect. Alright, let's get this thing set up. I'm just going to run this thing down to the field, and we'll have a hired hand probably run the chopper, and then we'll follow along with that wagon there. So let's get her back in the field. Thankfully it's not very far away. And of course I don't have any tractors over here, so we're going to take the Kubota here, run it over back to where we had all the cattle set up. But actually, you know what? We're going to run up the hill, I think, up to the house. I got a tractor up there that'll work great, a Fent, a much bigger tractor than we have down here. So let's go up and I'll show you our other group of cattle. I actually have 100 Angus cattle up here. All cows, so they'll be... Oh, we need to get a bull, I guess, put in this pen. I don't have any bulls up here yet. So maybe next month I'll try to get another bull or 2 hauled in. I mean, it's quite a little trail in the wintertime. This is treacherous. That's why all of our vehicles are 4-wheel drive. There you can see a few of our cattle here on the path. This was not part of the original farm that Dad had bought. This came years later. This is where all of our grain storage is, and most of our planting operation is up here. We actually have a Volvo truck there in that building on our right. Here's our big seeder. But let me get this thing parked and get things started. Get down to the field and when we start that chopper. I already got the hired hand ready to go. She was already in the tractor, but this is our Fent 1042. They're fired up. We'll run this thing down and hook up to that Krone wagon. One problem that I'm having here in Montana that my brother in Baxter Springs really didn't have problems with is when it's harvest time, everything is ready at once. With all these fields coming up, we got the silage to do today. We've got that alfalfa field we've got to get taken care of today to try to get enough bales to get through. There's too many head of cow, really. I don't know if we're going to keep them all, or Dad raised 1,000 head for years and had no problems, but he was a little bit more experienced than I was at this. There she goes. She's starting up. Ooh, I don't know why she wants to go that way, but hopefully she's got a plan. Of course, we're going to run over some of the corn doing this, but I'll run beside her here and try to get some of this filled up. Not sure how much our little silage pit will hold. Hopefully enough. I do know we do have another silo in the back that Dad used many years ago. We could start taking some up there if we had to. Well, I'll go ahead here and get some of this chopped up, and then once we get a load, we'll take you to the barn with us and show you the silage pit.
Sun dips low, horizon gold. Dusty trails begin to unfold. A heart so big, a faith so bold. Rancher's tale to be retold. Living life on sacred ground. Cattle grazing, church bells sound. Out there in the sleepy town, spreads the word where lost are found. Rancher rise through day and night, guiding souls to heaven's light. Love and grace he does recite, in his mission spirits take flight. Evening falls on endless plains, stars above like silver chains. Sins are washed in gentle rains, hope restores and love sustains. Living life on sacred ground, cattle grazing, church bells sound. Out there in the sleepy town, spreads the word where lost are found. Living life on sacred ground, cattle grazing, church bells sound. Out there raising, church bells sound, spreads the word where lost are found. Living lives through day and night, guiding souls to heaven's light. Love and grace he does recite, in his mission spirits take flight.
Well, that didn't take too long to fill up, but now my problem is I'm kind of in a bad spot to try to turn this thing around. I really can't back it up. Of course, trees in my way. So I'm going to have to just probably gun it and go through the corn. That's all the only other way to do it. I'm not backing all the way out of this field. And of course, we'll lose a little bit of crop here, but we'll get it turned around. There we go. Head back to the building there, where I can drop this silage off. Silage was something my brother and we helped Dad out a lot on. Always did a lot of silage growing up. Of course, back then it was just kind of out in the open, didn't have a roof over top, but it still did the trick. I really liked when we'd use the old silo out back, and then you just dump it in the building and done. But here we go, we got our first dump dropped in. Well, guys, I'm going to go ahead and I'm going to finish filling this thing up, and we'll see in a little bit when she's all full, as long as I don't pull out in front of that car. Ooh, that was a little closer than I wanted to get. But let me go finish filling this silage pit up. Well, I do believe it's going to be as full as we can get it. The back door on the wagon started to hit the rafters when we come through, and I really don't like that. So we got our leveler here. We're trying to smooth it out as best we can. I've got a couple spots in there that I filled out a little higher than I should. I think we can get up in there and try to bring it down just a little bit. I'm going to try to push some of this back in. Of course, sticking outside of the silo here, it won't get wrapped like it's supposed to. And I don't have enough plastic wrap to do both sides. I only got enough tarping for the one side here. So I'll just go ahead and just fill the one, and then we'll use the silo harvester out back for the rest. Hey, we're trying to get this packed in good. Of course, I don't know if I'm helping it any or making it worse by running that leveler in front. Seems like every time I get up in there, it digs in deeper and makes it worse. But let me drop this roller here off, and we'll just finish. Well, here. Got to fold it up, I guess, first. But we'll just use the leveler in the front to try to do the rest of it. Push the rest of this here in. It's all the way compacted. I just got to get it all in so we can get it covered right. There we go. Oh, come on. Just a little bit left. I might not worry about that. Try to smooth out that one little high spot. There we go. Looking a little better. A little better. Of course, it won't really matter. We'll just use a big loader to load it. I actually don't have a loader for it right now. All I have is that little Kubota tractor, and that one's really not big enough to take big scoops. So what I'll probably end up doing when this is all fermented, we'll probably come in here with a big front loader and start doing it that way. Let's drive over one last time. Yeah, I got a bad spot right there, of course. That's a real bad spot too. Almost get high centered in that little puppy. So I can try to get around it here, pack it down a little bit. Uh-oh. Oh boy, come on, girl. Let's get out of this. Oh, a little bit more. A little bit more. Oh, there we go. Woo! I was going to have to go get another tractor and pull me out. But go park this off to the side and we'll tarp it up here. There we go. Alright, let's see if we can get a tarp thrown on it. I'm not sure how long it's going to take to ferment. There we go. Alright, all tarped up, ready to go. I'll hop back in the Fent tractor and we'll go back to chopping some corn, because in the far distance, I don't know if you could see it. You probably couldn't quite see it there, but there is a harvester back there. So we'll get grabbing the Fent. Here we go, back to chopping more corn. I never did understand why we put the silo back here, but I mean, it makes a little bit of sense because, you know, this is where some of the cattle are, but, and of course back then, you know, we didn't have all the cattle up on the hill, so this was probably a central location. But go ahead and start dropping this off in the silo. I'm not sure if it'll hold the rest of our cornfield or not. It probably will. It's a pretty good sized silo, really. Probably be easier just using it than using the bunker silo, but you know, the bunker silo, you know, it's more convenient right there next to where we keep our hay bales. Well, there we go. Got the one off, and we'll start finishing up that field and bring it all down here. So we'll see you when we get it all wrapped up. Well, we almost have it finished up. You know, it didn't take too long to do this field. I was a little worried when, you know, I first heard that Dad had passed away unexpectedly, that, you know, when I came back to the farm and knew I was going to have to start doing it myself, I saw just the one silage chopper. I'm like, ugh. I don't know if we're going to be able to get that field done with one chopper in the short time that we have to try to get the harvest in before it, gets so far along that we have to actually combine the corn. And I really don't want to do any corn combining. We got our own crops up on the hill that's going to be due in a month or two, but again, I want to just try to stick with just chopping corn and make some silage. I knew we needed silage, and obviously Dad did too. That's why he planted this big field in corn this year. But I do know, I believe there's one head size bigger for this chopper. Now we might next year, upgrade it, because that'd be a lot cheaper to upgrade the head than get a whole nother chopper. I don't have unlimited funds here. I mean, Dad did have a lot of stuff. He did really well operating this farm, this ranch. But I don't know how to manage it very well. I don't want to waste money. Try to use with just what Dad had. Spin this thing around, and should be maybe the last pass, and this field will be wrapped up. We can get onto that alfalfa field. Be glad to be done chopping corn, that's for sure. This is just one project you do just once a year, unlike the alfalfa that we have several run-ins. But alright, well that's done. Let's go back to the silo, get this dropped off, and see how many total liters we got out of it. I'm pretty sure if I'm running my calculations right, with this load here, we're going to be over 700,000 liters of silage. Well, chaff right now. It will be silage, hopefully soon, because as you know, our cattle, we have no silage. All we're doing is feeding hay and what little grass is on the ground. But there we are. Let's get this tractor back, and we'll get the tractors ready, and we'll start mowing that alfalfa field. One thing I haven't shown you yet is Dad actually kept his very first tractor he bought brand new. I mean, he had a lot of older tractors. We still have a few here on the farm, but here are the 6680 Agco Alice. This was his very first one that he bought brand new for the farm. And it's got some hours on it, but it is a nice one. Gonna go ahead and we'll probably hook this thing up to the tedder. Here's our tedder here. It's plenty big enough for that. It's not a very big tractor, but it'll do the job. At one time he did have a front loader on this. He took it off and just used it for little hay jobs here and there. I mean, it was pretty well retired, but we're going to bring it out of retirement and put it back to work, because we'll need the Massey Ferguson later on to do some of the bigger projects. Let me get this thing run down the road here, and we'll show you our big alfalfa field. Of course, I don't know, for a gravel road, this road has a lot more traffic than you would expect. Well, this is our alfalfa field here. It's actually quite a little ways away from the rest of the farm. As you can tell, if you look in the distance there, the town is right behind us. Big silo back there. Look at this thing unfolded, and kind of looks like she's only gone around at one time. There she is, coming around right now, actually. Just made one pass, getting ready to start making her second one. Then we will follow in behind and try to get this all tedded up. And I'm not sure if it'll be all dried today or not. We'll have to see if it's going to be dry enough to bale, or if we're just going to be able to get it tedded and maybe raked a little later. We'll get this thing fired up and we'll follow on behind. I have screwed up before and forgot to actually turn it on, and I'm not sure how far I ended up going, but looked back once like, uh-oh. Turn around, let's do it again. Of course, I had all kinds of hay all piled up because it was down on the ground, but it wasn't tedding any. But as hay being our biggest crop that we need, as you can see in our overhead map here, we actually have field 9. That is our grass field. We also have what we're in now, 13, our alfalfa field. Up in field 11 is our lentil field. So of course we're not going to get any hay out of that, but we do have field 12 that right now is sitting dormant. So I have debated on actually trying to maybe either plant that whole field in alfalfa or grass, or split that one in half and make 2 fields out of it. This, as you can tell, this field 13 is a very good sized field. Let me go ahead. Looks like she's catching up with us, passing us with the mower, so we will continue mowing this up. Well, not mowing it, but tedding it up as she mows it, and then we will try to get this thing into some bales. almost finished. I got somebody finishing up the tedding right now. We're going to run back to the other barn and grab a tractor, and we're going to come out here and start raking it up. I think it's drying out. The sun is shining really bright today. Well, I kind of thought the Kubota tractor would be a good tractor to go with the Kubota rake. So here we are back at the alfalfa field. Kind of wish she wouldn't have missed all those spots with the mower out there, but you know, she got most of it. It's not too bad. This thing always folds out so slow. There we go. Get her drop down, get her started. There's a few spots down by the river. I'm afraid it may not quite be dry enough yet. But up here, this area, I mean, I think shouldn't be wet, is what I should say. So it should be dry enough. So we'll go ahead and get this all raked up, and once we get down to the river, I'll show you what I mean by a few wet spots that were left. Yeah, this is what I'm talking about down by the river. You can see these little green spots left. It's just not quite all the way dry enough. As you can see in my windrow, there's a few little spots as well, because like I said, we are right next to the Missouri River. I'm not seeing too many spots. Here's one. This spot's not all the way dry. I think most of it's dry enough that we won't have too much of an issue. But I'll hop back up into the tractor and finish getting this all raked up. I want to get it done before it gets too late tonight. I need to get to the house, get cleaned up, and go out door knocking tonight. And here we are, last little bit left. Didn't take too awful long. Sun's still up at least. And all the hired hands have gone home for the day. But yeah, there's going to be a lot of rows out here. I'm not sure how many bales it's going to make, but it'll definitely stock up our building again. And then next month we'll be ready to mow that grass field over by the harvester barn. But I will finish this up and head back to the house.
Each evening after a hard day's work, this rancher heads out to his neighbors to tell them the story that is hard for anyone to tell, especially when he was only 10 years old when he started telling it. A story about the tragedy that happened to his family when a freak accident started a fire in their double-wide trailer that ended up taking the life of his mother, a mother that sadly didn't know the Lord and Savior. Well, ever since the funeral, when the pastor gave a message that would stick with this boy and his brother for the rest of their lives, a story that he wanted everyone to hear, a story that leads to hope, love, and everlasting life. For God so loved the world that he gave his only begotten Son, that whosoever believeth in him should not perish, but have everlasting life.
Good morning. Just checking the weather after one of the hired hands called saying that when he was out feeding the dairy cows, not many actually came up to eat. Sounds like we did have some strong winds last night. But thankfully, no rain since we still have that alfalfa down. Let me get this garage door opened up. We'll hop in the pickup. We'll run down and get our horse and run him out and see if we can find any cows out roaming down towards the river. I know sometimes down by the river we have problems where the cattle will get out because a tree will fall down over the fence, or sometimes they can just find a way through the fence. Well, let me get down there and see what we can find. Of course, as usual, another train that we have to wait on. I know this time of year is really rough with all the extra train traffic from all the grain coming in from the different elevators, but let's hop out real quick and see how much longer this train is. Oh, there's the end of it, so it won't be much longer. So all I gotta do is run right across the road, grab the horse. There we go. Alright, it's a beautiful morning. Hopefully I can get in this field right in front of us here, and our old cornfield, and get it disked up. But let me run back, hop on Oliver, and get him out and start checking that old fence line. I mean, I would like to move what I should do, I should cut the trees along the fence so we don't have these problems. It's just a project I haven't got around to. Dad never got around to either. So, but let me just shut the pickup off and get on good old trusted Oliver here. I don't ride him too much. You know, growing up, I was more of a four-wheeler riding person instead of a horse rider, but you You know, Dad kind of got into, you know, having more horses on the farm. So this is the only one he had left there at the end. Let's get back, and a little bit of a shortcut through here so we don't have to drive clear out on the road. But it looks like you got all the beef cattle fed good. They're looking really good up here. I do have this trail out to the river. This trail right up here will take us clear back to the river so we don't have to sit there and cut through the trees. This is an old horse riding trail we used to always take. Actually, at one time, this was my four-wheeler course. You know, I just drove it back here, runs right along the Missouri River. It'll actually end up going clear back to the alfalfa field that we harvested yesterday, or not harvested, but mowed. We still have got to get over in that today and get it baled. I mean, it should be drying up soon enough. It was actually right up here around this little bend where Dad had his accident. Hello.
Hello, Mr. Lawrence. This is Dr. Jones at the Montana Medical Center in Billings. Do you have a moment?
Yes, sir. What can I do for you?
Well, I have some sad news to report. There happens to have been an accident on your father's ranch, and he ended up falling off his horse into the river, where he was found by a couple out kayaking. By the time the ambulance arrived, he was already gone.
Oh, no.
I know you are overseas right now, but I'm sorry to have to ask if you could come home and take care of some matters.
Yes, I will get back as soon as I can.
Thank you. We should have everything ready for when you get here. Have a good day, Mr. Lawrence.
It's been a rough few months, but let's get on up here and try to figure out where these cows are getting out at it. So far, I don't see anything. I'm sure somewhere up here, there's going to be some kind of trail where they've got out at. But the river's looking really good this morning. Nice and calm. Pretty well clear skies. There's a spot. That doesn't look quite right. Looks like they've been walking up through there. Let's go on in there and see what we can see. With all this grass that's down, you can tell they've been out here. Let's hop off because there's one right there. Now let's see where she got out at. Didn't trample down all these bushes. Oh, but there it is. Tree down, ripped out the fence. Have to go back, get the chainsaw, come and clear out that. Looks like we got all kinds of brush and all growing up along this fence line. Let me run back. We'll get the chainsaw and probably the side-by-side, and we'll come out here and start cleaning this little area up. Oh, the never-ending train traffic we have out here. Or how much longer this one's going to be. But hey, I got my chainsaw back there. We got our extra wire and fence clips. Now, as soon as... There they are. You can see a little better. Hey, the train's gone. Let's get over the tracks and get back there and start cleaning that mess up. Now, if I can just remember where I was at. Yeah, there's the trail. Yep. I thought I was around here somewhere. Yeah, I see her cow still out. So the first thing I got to do is try to get her back to where she belongs. This isn't going to go good. I guess I probably better get the tree out of the way first. Can't really... Hey, at least the chainsaw didn't scare her. But let me get this tree cut up out of the way, throw it out, then we can move her through the same opening. I gotta try to make sure I cut these small enough that I can manhandle. I don't have any chains with me. I should have brought a chain. Got the chainsaw, got some wire, but I didn't bring any chain. Then we could just drug some of this out. So let me finish cutting this thing up, and we'll throw it back on one side or the other of the fence line, and we'll be able to get our fence put back in. Well, I've got the tree cleaned up out of the way, cow back in where she belongs, fence put in. Now we can get back to the farm, and first thing we probably need to do is actually get down and try to start baling up that alfalfa field that we worked on yesterday. So we need as many bales as possible because we really don't have hardly any bales left in our little building. Now that I'm getting back here, I'm thinking, oh, hopefully the dew is is all gone for this morning. And you know, that wind we had yesterday or last night when I was sleeping, hopefully it didn't mess up our windrows. Let me hop out here real quick and we will see. I mean, so far the windrows look okay. I think it's, yeah, it looks dry enough. I think we should be able to bale it. It messed up the windrows a little bit in spots, but most of it's, I think, going to be good enough. Let me hop in the tractor here and we'll get to baling. There we go. Seems to be going good. Looks like the deer's out and about quite a bit this morning. Pretty tame, too, for being right next to them, but I think we're going to get a lot of bales out of here. I'm not sure how many, but, I mean, we need as many as we can to try to be able to keep the cattle fed. I know later on, I think we'll probably have to buy some straw bales. I don't have any straw bales to feed any or use any bedding or even any total mixed ration. Let me get some of this baled up and see how it comes out.
Heartbreak struck the Lawrence boys long ago, the pain cut deep. Mothers lost woke up their hearts, young souls with dreams to keep. One moved to Baxter Springs, found his faith became a guide, preaching love and spreading hope, with the Lord he did confide. Oh, the Lawrence boys from sorrow they did rise. Ooh, the Lawrence boys with faith they touched the skies. Other brother traveled round, evangelist with soulful cries, brought the light to far off lands, sadness couldn't break the ties. Ooh, the Lawrence boys from sorrow they did rise. Ooh, the Lawrence boys with faith they touched the skies.
Well, I'm going to go let the hired hand finish baling this field. And I was doing some thinking, you know, we're just talking about having to buy straw bales. Well, I have that cornfield that we just harvested yesterday. We can go ahead and plant it in wheat. So at least in the springtime, we'll have our own straw and I have to buy any. Let me run up to the main farm up by the house, and that's where we have our big seeder at. And we'll get it fired up and bring it down and get it put in that field. Well, here we are. We're going to actually take the big New Holland out. It's going to be our biggest seeder to plant the wheat with. Got a couple other planters we could use, but I got this field bag here, and it's Dad planted in lentils, I believe. So I'm not just sure if it's going to produce any straw for us or not. Won't know till we get in it. I've never harvested lentils with Dad before. I'm not even sure why he started doing lentils, but we have it, so let me hop in this thing and we'll get her fired up, and we'll have to probably run to town and get some seed. We have fertilizer here, but I don't believe we have any seed on the farm. And it kind of looks to me like I might be having a monitor going bad on this tractor. Doing a little bit of flickering here, but you pull up here, we will be able to spin this thing around. I mean, this has an auger load system on the side. So I need to try to get some seed in it, and then if I can get it lined up just right, we'll get some fertilizer in it as well. Which, of course, I'm kind of thinking I might be on the wrong side. Yeah, I do believe the auger is going to come out the other side. So I think we'll probably just run and get that seed first. This thing folded out so we can put seed in it. I have a seed cart in one of these buildings here. Since this is done full now, we'll hop out and we will go figure out which building it's in. It must not be this one. This is where I got a couple seeders at. I got a case and a white seeder. One of Dad's old tractors. Well, it's not this one, so it must be the other building. Let me close this back up and we'll run over there and see if it's in there. Probably have to use our pickup to be able to haul it, because it's a fifth wheel hookup. There we go. Ah, there's the seed cart. Alright, let me grab my pickup and we'll bring it over here and hook this up. Well, our seed cart is full now. Now if I can just get this to line up with our other auger to be able to offload it. A little bit of a tight turnaround. Thankfully this is a fifth wheel hitch instead of a bumper pull. But if If I can just get beside this just right, let's put that auger out. And we're going to see if we can line these two augers up together. Of course, a view from inside the cab is not very good, so I'll probably have to hop out and move it with the tractor. Yeah, let's see. Yeah, that's pretty close. Let's hop out and see what the tractor is going to let us do. That's almost lined up. I think maybe back the tractor up just a little bit. There we go. Oh, I guess I got to turn it on first. Probably back up a little easier. And come on there. Oh, there it is. All right, we'll fill this thing up with seed. Then we'll get it spun around and try to be able to put in some fertilizer. All right, well, it's full of seed. Now let's see if we get this fertilizer in. I had enough seed to fill it up, and there's still, probably another half of one compartment left, so about a fourth of that left. And hey, yeah, fertilizer's in. So let's get down to the field and get that planted in wheat. See if I can get that. Remember to fold that thing in. Don't want to take that out. Rip that thing off. That'd cost us a pretty penny, I'm sure. But I'll take this on down to the field and get her unfolded and get started. Kind of hoping that they're done working in the alfalfa field so I can get some help over here and let them do the seeding, and then I can actually go pick up that straw we need for the cattle. I mean, running so low on feed, I'm kind of really desperate on getting some more feed brought in. I don't want to start buying the actual bales of alfalfa. I want to be able to just use straw and get by with that. But all right, let's get this thing fired up and let's get planting. Love the size of this tractor. It shouldn't take too long with that big of a seeder behind us. But let me go ahead and probably put on a little time lapse here and get this planted.
Other brother traveled round, evangelist with soulful cries. Brought the light to far-off lands, sadness couldn't break their ties. Oh, the Lord's boys, from sorrow they did rise. Ooh, the Lord's boys, with faith they touched the skies. Sadness struck the family again. Wounds reopened, hearts would rend. Yet in their souls the light remained, love and faith their constant friend. Oh, the Lord's boys, from sorrow they did rise. Oh, the Lord's boys.
All right, well, now that that's all planted, our wheat field is done. You can tell we have very few bales of hay left. So we're going to hop in the tractor over here, and we're going to go over to where I've decided I could buy some straw bales because our silage isn't quite ready either. But I do have a guy wanting to sell some straw bales to us, and well, we have a little bit of money, and well, we need straw. So let me run over to his place, and we got our wagon behind us, and we'll pick up a full load of whatever he has available for straw. Then we can start making some of that total mixed ration. So I'll see you over at his place. Here we go. This is his place here on our right. Of course, another railroad crossing, but thankfully there's no trains going across here right now. He actually works at Helena Chemical, so we're going to run in. Looks like he is there. That's his pickup out front. You pull up here, shut this off, and then we will run in and see what he has for us. So I'll see you guys in just a moment.
For with the heart man believeth unto righteousness, and with the mouth confession is made unto salvation. For the scripture saith, Whosoever believeth on him shall not be ashamed.
Well, I had a nice little talk with the guy with the bales, and we negotiated a good price for the straw bales. He had some extras that he didn't need. He's actually cutting back on his cattle operation, so those bales right ahead of us, those are all ours. Actually, I don't think we're probably going to be able to get them all on this run. Let me park up here. We're going to be able to use his telehandler because I think that should work right there, and hop out of here, and we will go ahead and try to see if we can get all these loaded up right. This is actually a machine I'd like to have down at the farm. Telehandler would work a little better than our little Kubota tractor. But all these bales are stacked really well. Hopefully I can get in here and not knock any over. They're going to stack a lot better on our trailer if I don't mess this up. I should be able to get 3 at a time. If our Kubota at home can do 3 at a time, I'm pretty sure this loader should be able to. Try to get around here. Ooh, that was close to hitting that stack of bales. But with this, we can actually reach clear across, so we don't have to drive all the way around. Knew there was a reason I didn't bring our loader tractor. Let's see if I can try to place these in the right spot. Now, if I can figure out the controls to extend it. Well, that wasn't the right one. No, that's not the right one. Come on, one of these got to push extend. There it is. Alright, it looks like maybe halfway across. Go ahead and drop that out, then I will go ahead and load the rest of them up. And right when you think you're done dealing with trains, of course we just had one go through here that we had to wait for. They're all loaded up back there, and now we're just going to get it back to the farm. Hopefully these are no heavier than our hay bales were. Never even thought of them being heavier. I mean, loading with his loader, was no way for me to tell how big they were. But here we are, back at our place. Let's get these offloaded and start making some total mixed ration. Alright, here we go. Fire this thing up. Oh, now that I look over the trailer, I realize I forgot to take the straps off. That's not good. Oh well, we'll get them when we get up there. Oh, wait a minute. What was... Oh, I forgot to unhook the baler. Oh, man. Well, that's not good. Just slammed it into the back of the building. Now I gotta... Well, we'll just unhook it here. We'll just leave it right there in the entryway of the building. And let me hop off and we will take these straps off. Still can't believe I just did that to the baler. And we try to keep it out of the weather by keeping it in the building, and then I leave it hooked up. I'm going to just leave some of these strapped in so I don't screw up and knock them all the way off. But let me get these all unloaded into the building, then we'll start mixing some feed out of it. Well, I got all the bales put away. Now if I can just try to start putting this in. I left a few out because we need it for here, and we also need some for the bedding. See, there it goes. Dropped it off. I was stuck to my forks there for a minute. I think one of those bales is all it's going to take. Then hopefully I can get by with just one of these hay bales in here. See if I can reach up that high. I'm not sure how high I'm going to be able to reach. Ooh, not quite all the way up. I'll make it work. This special loader, it'll work. There, nice. One bale at a time. Now I'm hoping the capacity of this will work okay. I don't want it to fill up on the straw and hay and not be able to put any silage in it. Yeah, it looks like it's mixing right. Of course, it looks like hay in there now. Now it was just straw is all I put in. There we go. Now we'll run back and we'll grab some silage. Almost said fertilizer. That would not have worked out good for the cattle. It's staying in there, bouncing around, but it is staying in. Oop. I just stalled it there. My bad. All right, let's head back to our little fermenting silo back here and put some silage in it. I am running into one small problem already, as you could tell. We're clear full. That one bale didn't even process all the way because it was filled up. But let's just try to see if we can get a little bit of silage in it. Here we go, silage. Oh yeah, plenty of silage in the silo. Unfortunately, none went in, but it did change colors, so maybe it will work. But actually now it looks more like just silage and no total mixed ration. So this little feed cart may not be working quite like it's supposed to. If I'm just going to put silage in here, I guess silage is a better quality than the hay I was using. But I will finish filling these guys up, and then we will go to the dairy barn, and then if there's anything left, we'll go up the hill and feed the cows on the hill by the house. Well, I think for the near future I'm going to probably have to get a different kind of feed wagon. This one's got some kind of problem where I actually never ended up using any feed. It's been full the whole time, so it's a little cheaty, but it's getting the job done. I'm filling these bunks up really easily with not using any of our supply of feed. Turn this thing around here and we will drop this in the bunks, feed these guys real quick. And actually I'm going to get a neighbor's feed pickup. He's got one he's going to let me borrow and test out, see if I like it. I think it might go a little bit better to feed these guys with. I think it's coming out here. Oh yeah, it's coming out. It's hard to tell when the gauges aren't going down to know if it's actually feeding or not. As you can tell, it is still clear full. Let me go ahead and feed these guys and I will show you the pickup I'm going to borrow from the neighbor. Well guys, this is the pickup I was telling you about. It's got a pretty decent size capacity for as small as the little box is on it. But now that it's raining, I think that's going to finish it up for today, guys. Welcome in everyone to a rainy day here in Loma, Montana. Here we are in the month of October. I just ran down to Billings, Montana, and we picked up a new feed mixer. One of the biggest struggles I have here is trying to keep enough feed for our 1,000 head of cattle. I'm actually probably going to do away with the cattle up by the homestead. Let's see if I can get this thing all the way on the ferry, hopefully without driving off into the water. There we go. See if we're on good enough. Yeah, that looks good. Well, let's get this thing across the river and up to our operation up by the farm. This way sure beats going the long way around, having to take the bridge. It's a major shortcut because, as you can tell, our farmhouse is right up there on the hill. And there's our barn with our combines in there in the distance. It's really not too far. Of course, it did shift a little bit when I started moving the ferry, but we're almost there. Then we'll get it back up there, get this thing offloaded and get it set up and try to make some feed. Hopefully we got everything in this container here that'll do all the work for us. So let me get it offloaded and get up there. Actually, since the last time you saw me, I had to put in another hayloft barn. We didn't have enough room really in this. I was having trouble with my alfalfa bales. They didn't seem to want to make the feed. Ooh, boy, the brakes are not good on this trailer. All right, let me pack it up. But it did not want to make the bales with the alfalfa. So this is all of our alfalfa bales here. We do have a little bit of hay left. Of course, our straw there that we bought from the guy over at the Helena Chemical Plant. But back down here, there's another barn. I'll run back there and show you. Here it is. I'm really hoping the rain will subside in a little bit. I need to get up to that lentil field and get it harvested today. But this is, oh, these are alfalfa bales. All right, I told you wrong. I got alfalfa here and in the other barn. This is the remainder of the alfalfa bales I had. I actually have the hay bales. I think they're actually still in the hay field. I haven't even grabbed them yet. Thought one of the hired hands was going to do that, but he did not. So I'll probably do later on, I'll move the alfalfa bales that we have up there, bring up to this building here, then we will just feed these cattle here just straight alfalfa bales and not even make the total mixed ration for them. They have quite a bit left in their bunk, so they'll be enough to keep them fed for a while. But here, let me get back and we'll get that pickup offloaded and get that feed mixer set up. When I went ahead and ordered this thing, I was trying to decide, do I want to put it over here with all of our our hay building and where our silage is, or I want to put it over there where the old homestead is. Well, that over there is where the tragedy happened when I was just a child.
Where are we going, Dad?
We are going to run to town and check out buying an old elevator.
I do one at the hotel.
No, son. One for the grain storage. But first, we need to check on your brother's tractor. So put on your seatbelt and let's go. Looks like it's all hooked up for him and ready to mow.
When am I going to go drive the tractor?
When you're older, son, when you're older. This is the kind of elevator I was talking about.
Hey, Dad, where are they going?
Probably out to another grass fire. Now let's go grab a bite to eat. Hop in, let's get a burger. Mom is fixing a big supper.
Mr. Lawrence, I just got a call saying you need to hurry home. There has been an explosion.
Hurry, son, get back in the pickup. We gotta get home.
Why, Dad? What's wrong?
It was at this moment that the lives of these three would be forever changed. A moment of tragedy was a moment of awakening that would last an eternity. But as for you, ye thought evil against me, but God meant it unto good, to bring to pass, as it is this day, to save much people alive.
That was a hard day for my brother and I, but we both grew that day from that moment. But here, let me finish setting this thing up and we'll start throwing some hay in it. Well, there it is, our forage mixer. I think this will make things go a lot smoother than the old one. We can just mix things in and not have to try to get our equation quite as good as we had been. There. All right, let me grab the tractor here and we'll start throwing some bales in. There, 3 hay bales, but like I was saying earlier, we have all that alfalfa hay, and we can't seem to use that. I'm not sure why it messes with our mixer, but it does. So, we're got more hay to try to make. Also hoping I can get some more straw off the lentils. Not sure right off if that will work. I always flip the wrong switch. There we go. Those are dropped in. Go back, grab some straw, and then some alfalfa. I'm going to have to buy a loader. This tractor really is not big enough to grab big scoops of that, but I might be able to run back and get some out of the silo system we have in the back. Until then, probably just going to have to get a loader. Big old wheel loader. Hoping it'll hold those that we just put in, these, and then also have plenty of room for silage. Oops, I want to run into it, brand new and already crashing it. Alright, dropped in. Alright, those are all in. They can feed, but let me see what I can do by getting a front loader for us. Big old wheel loader. See maybe there's something on sale. Be really convenient if there was. Let's try to stay here out of the rain. Pull up my tablet here and see what there is. Well, when it comes to used vehicle sale, there really is nothing. So let's shoot up here and see what they have in the line of big wheel loaders. There we go. And we have the old Volvo here. I mean, it'd be a good price. I think we might just go with this Claas. It's a smaller one. Ooh, here's even a cheaper Volvo. You know what? Wonder what kind of bucket I could get. Combination. See how big of a bucket we can get. 3,500 liters. Or this one for 4,000 liters. Well, 4,000 may not be too bad. Oh, now this silage, it'll do 8,000. So I think we're going to do that. We're actually going to save some money because we only have 138,000 right now. So we will go ahead and we will get this silage fork, which is actually $10,000 just for a silage fork. Wow. Then we'll go with a little Volvo. Hopefully it'll reach high enough that it'll do it. Perfect. Take the license plate off because we're not going to be using it on the roads. And go ahead and purchase it. There we go. All right, let's go over to the shop and get it brought down to our farm. All right, now that we've got the wheel loader here, let's go ahead and get the silo opened up. It should be finished fermenting. Yes, it is. Good. Let's get a scoop or two put in and see if we can actually start mixing it the rest of the way and get it out to the cattle. I know the ones in the barn, they are needing it pretty soon. Let's fill the bucket up. Yeah, that don't look clear full, but of course there wasn't a whole lot of silage here at the end. So if I can get back here and get it dumped in without running into anything. I knew my pickup was back there somewhere. Probably shouldn't have left it in my driveway. There we go. Alright. Woo! Whoa. This little guy doesn't handle the best. Maybe I should have gone with a little bit bigger one. One of those Klaus ones. Oop, got one dump on the ground. this up a little higher. And there, dumping in. Really can't see what we're doing. No window on the top of this. Alright, dumped in. So we should have our first batch. Let's get a tractor over here where we can start loading it out. There we are with an overhead view. I did kind of mess up and I forgot to turn it on. Can't really make silage without turning it on, but here it is rolling. So we got some made in there. Let's go ahead, take what we have, and run that down to our cattle barn. Actually, is it going to fill us clear up? Not quite, but close. I mean, as you can tell, it's actually producing really fast. Might be able to just get a little bit more put in. It must have been all. There we go. Maybe we are clear full. Either way, I will run over to the cattle barn and dump this in. Well, as I'm out here picking up bales, is waiting for the ground to dry, that's how close our farm is actually to the ferry. It sits right there in the distance. Just a few more bales here to pick up. Got most of a load. And actually, that bale on the top looks a little different than the rest. Gotta be the same kind, came from the same field. Alright, there we go. Throw that one on. Got a couple more at the start of the field and we'll be finished. We'll head this back to the house and I'll probably have the sprayer come down and start spraying that wheat field because it's got some pretty tall weeds in it already. And then we'll continue letting it dry as we might even grab the fertilizer truck, have him come down. Then we'll grab the 2 combines and run up to the top of the hill and start grabbing that lentil field. But I'll see you when I get in the sprayer. Alright, here we are up the main barnyard area. It looks like the sprayer's in the middle one. Park up this by the lentil field here. These are our lentils. They are ready to harvest. Just wait for the ground to dry just a little bit more and we can get in that field. Which I think these doors won't open unless I go in this side. There we go. Let's see. There's our fertilizer truck and also our hardy sprayer. Grab the door. Might as well just go ahead and open the other one as well because we're going to use it in just a little bit. There. Alright, let's hop in this thing. There we go. Fired up good. Of course, I know Dad has herbicide in one of those 2. Can't remember which one. Actually, it must be the second one because the first one would be probably fertilizer. And there we go. Alright, let's fill her up. Alright, now we're full of herbicide. Let's get down there. I'm pretty sure we have plenty of fertilizer still in that one bin. I'm hoping at least. These are the cattle I was talking about earlier. I think we're probably going to get rid of all of them before winter sets in. Before the snow falls at least. Might keep them another month, fatten them up a little bit, get a little bit more out of them. This is where I was going to bring a bull up here, but I never did get it done this year. So we haven't produced any new cattle up here. There's 100, I believe. I think I have 100 head up here. Let me get down. We'll get this thing started in the wheat field. Can't believe how many weeds we get out of just 1 month of growth. Weeds are already outgrowing our wheat. Alright, should be able to lower this thing somehow. Maybe it needs to be folded all the way out before I can lower it. There we go. Oh, there, lowered itself. Perfect. There we go. Oh yeah, killing them already. Let me go ahead. I'll probably have one of the worker guys come out and do this, and then I will go grab the fertilizer truck. So see you in just a moment. Well, with that big spray boom he has, I'm sure he'll be done by the time I get back down there. This thing, I'm pretty sure, is empty. And I know I've never put anything in it yet. My dad normally never stored it filled up. So I'll pull up here and fill this thing up. Alright, that should be filling. See if there's any place I can climb up there and get a good view. Come on, a little higher. There we go. Yep, it's coming up. That's what we wanted to see. I'm going to get back down without falling. Wait to finish, and then I'll head on down.
In a town called Loma, years ago in Montana, tragedy fell like a fire left a longing for a quiet. Two boys lost a mother, found strength in one another. In the heart of the sorrow's night, they found love and burning light. Lord's boys, they rose from the ashes, the life they chose. What was sadness turned to hope, love became their strongest goal. In the fields, wind is blowing, time can't stop what they know. Tales of loss, but hearts are kind. In Loma, they've left grief behind. Lawrence boys, they rose from the ashes, the life they chose. What was sadness turned to hope, love became their strongest role. In the fields, wind is blowing, time can't stop what they're knowing. Tales are lost, but hearts are kind. In Loma, they left grief behind. Lord's boys, they rose from the ashes, the life they chose.
Well, by the time it dried up enough, now it's dark, so we get to harvest in the nighttime. So I can turn the building lights on. There we go. I'll fire these up and get one up and have somebody follow me along. So you probably should grab the bean head over here. Ooh, lights are kind of bright. Reflection there. There they are. I mean, they shouldn't take us too long to harvest. It's not the biggest field in the world, but let me get these hooked up and we'll get them up to that field. I just can't believe it. We got so much rain today that it took this long to be able to get into the field. Here I am, my very first lentil harvest. I'm sure Dad had a reason to plant them. Well, we're gonna harvest them. They're ready. I couldn't wait till tomorrow, but I'm pretty sure this field will be withered by then. So we're gonna have to just work into the night, get all this done, and hopefully get a good yield out of it. Make some good money. Let's stop real quick. Yeah, check it. Poison machine. Yeah, it does not look like we're going to get a windrow out of this. No straw. I'm pretty sure I have it turned on. Let me go ahead and we'll do this, and hopefully the other guy will be up here soon to also be working in the field. Well, we have the two hired hands going pretty good in the field. Probably going to have to go over and grab the semi real quick. Get it hooked up to the grain trailer so we can actually start loading them out. I think we're just going to store them here at the farm. We'll go ahead and flip this gate open. There we go. Perfect. Alright, now all we need is the truck and trailer. Trailer's there. Truck should be in this building here. Ooh, come on. Is it locked? There we go. There we go. Perfect. Let me hop in here and get it hooked up. Now, since I don't have an auger wagon, I'm going to have to make the combines come to me. Just trying to find a good place out here to park so I'm not in their way. Not really seeing that one doing a whole lot. Don't see any crops in front of it. I'll just park down here at this end of the field. That should be good enough. When they're full, they can just come over here. There we go. Perfect. Shut her down. Well, some of my hired hands had to start going home, so I took over this one. That one's almost done. Just a couple more passes and he'll be finished. So I'll take this last combine load here over. I don't think we have a whole bunch back here now. Not too full. Well, they did dump one time each, so go ahead and unload this one and see what our total amount is. I can line up here good. There we go. It's always hard to tell just how far away you are from it. Oh, actually it looks like I'm hitting it. Looks like I'm hitting the trailer. That's why they've been normally doing this work, and I've just been the one driving the truck. There we go. Alright, get this one unloaded, drop this head off onto the trailer, and get this thing back down to the barn. Alright, just dropping the last of our lentils off here. Hopefully we got enough lentils out of it this year to get enough money to be able to buy more straw to try to keep our animals fed throughout the winter. Well, here we are in the month of November, and I have decided to sell all of our cattle up here on the hill. This is our last set of 12. We're going to run these to the market, see what we can get out of them. But we definitely are not going to be able to have enough feed to get us through winter. But I did notice we actually have the alfalfa field ready to harvest again. So with the money I'm going to make out of the sale of these cattle, I'm going to go ahead and lease another mower so we can get that mowed really quick before the ground freezes on us and messes everything up with frost. So, but let me get these over into town and get them sold. Another good thing we have going for us is we have 300,000 liters of milk. And of course slurry. I've actually got another slurry tank, so we have over the 200,000. But this 300,000 liters of milk, I mean, that is going to pay some really good money. Of course, as you can tell, I mean, we need 481,000 liters of food every day. If we scroll up here, our milk, that is going to give us, if we sold it right now, which we probably will because we kind of need the money, it'll give us $608,000 in just the milk sold. Of course, I got to find a tank to try to get rid of all this, and we kind of need to do it soon because we can't store anymore. The more time we spend not storing it, the less milk we're going to end up getting. But we're not too much farther, and we'll have this last 12 sold, and we will get some kind of tank. We'll probably just get a semi-trailer tank to be able to grab that milk, and then we'll also lease another mower. So let me, like I said, get this finished and sold off, and we will go on to the next step. Alright, here we go. These things sold off. I don't want to buy more. I want to get rid of what I have. Here we go. Sell. Only another 7,000. We didn't make a whole lot, but paying no attention to all the track marks here. It took me a little bit to get in. I mean, who put this junk in the way? I don't know. I'm going to go ahead and I'm going to drop this trailer off. The guys at the dealership here, not dealer, but, you know, I guess it's a dealer, animal dealer. But they were telling me that the dairy in town actually has a trailer that we could use to haul our milk. So I'm going to run over to the dairy here and grab that and head down to the farm. Okay, our tank should be right up here. There it is. At least this is where the town's dairy is. There's not too many dairy cattle here in Loma, Montana. So I'm probably kind of happy that I have some to be able to supply them milk. Small dairy, as you can tell. There's really, fence there. There's not too many grocery stores around to even sell milk. Alright, there we go, hooked up. Let's get back to the farm and get our first tank filled up. I'm not sure how much this holds. I think it's around probably 80,000 liters. So we're going to make a few trips. But that's alright. Get some money in the bank so we can lease another one of those mowers. But let me get back, get some of this loaded out, sold off, and then we'll try to get the mower we have right now over in the field mowing the alfalfa, and then we'll lease a second one to go right there with him. So we'll see in a little while. Here we are back at the dairy farm. Right there, that big green tank there, that is our new slurry tank that we have. We can actually hook it up and haul it to wherever we want, but as you can tell, it's actually clear full. So I really do need to try to use it somewhere so we can not just waste it. We got to put our slurry somewhere. I don't think I want to use this milk tanker to haul any slurry in. Let me try to get up here and we will fill it full of milk. Alright, we'll let this thing fill up and then we'll run it to town. Turns out it'll hold 84,500 liters. That's a pretty good amount. I mean, definitely more than I could ever get in a tanker pulling behind my pickup. There, barely has enough power to get up that little hill though. Let me get this back. I had one guy run down. He's already mowing in the alfalfa field. As soon as I get this dropped off, I'll take the money from that and we will go ahead and start a second mower in that field. I'll just have the 2 hired hands, so can't do any more than that. And we'll see if there's any. Actually, I can pop that up real quick and see if there's any on sale. Nah, there's nothing on sale that we could use. Definitely not going for a smaller mower. Let me get this to town. We'll sell it, then we'll get the other mower going. Alright, here we come with the first load. We're going to have over 3 of these. See if I can stop, brakes. Alright, offload. See what we get. While this is slowly unloading, we're going to go in here and actually get our new mower leased. We'll do the increased horsepower, US style. I think there's another, yeah. Oh, there was 2 US styles we had to configure on it. We don't need GPS, and we're not going to pull anything behind it. So, alright, that should be good. Go ahead and lease it. $23,000 to start. Not too bad to be able to get all that done, and extra cutting. And the extra cutting should help us this year as well. We should be able to have enough alfalfa bales at least to get us through. We won't probably have enough silage, and we definitely don't have enough straw, but this is a good start. But let me skip a little bit of time and get this thing all the way unloaded. One thing they need to do is definitely get some bigger pumps on this tank to unload a little faster, but 171,000, that is awesome. Knowing we have at least 2 more of these to do. But I got the mower. I'll get him out started when we go by, and then I will continue bringing the rest of this milk, and we'll see what we come out with on money at the very end. So we'll see when we're all done with the milk. Alright, that was the last of our milk. We're all out of milk, as you can tell, and got in the tank. I was doing some thinking. I think, what if we put in a slurry storage spot right here? There is this liquid manure extension tank. And this ooh, there's a gate. We got a gate though. Ah, the gate's in a horrible spot. See how far away I can put this without affecting. You know, if you go too far away, you get too far from the barn. But we can actually go clear out here. Let's see. Now we're not in the driveway. That should work right there. Let's just go ahead, put that in. There we go. Oh, it ate right into our road. Yeah, ooh. I do some smoothing that out, make that look a little better, but that should work. Now that should increase our storage capacity. So let's click into the cows real well. Actually, I can just go close to the building and see. All right, dairy barn, slurry, 200,000 liters. That should keep going up now that we have this new extension in. So perfect. All right. Well, I'll smooth this out, then we'll run that last load to town. Here we go with our last tank load. Alright, let's see what we can get out of it. We did spend just a little bit of... Oh, that car almost parks on our delivery point. Alright, get the last of it off. Not sure where that car came from, but we'll see how much we make on our grand total for the milk sale. There we go, another $32,000. Makes a total of $608,065. All right, let's get this trailer put back where it belongs, and we'll get back, and we're going to go ahead and buy a slurry spreader. I think I'm going to get the one that we can actually cultivate as it goes, so we can get 2 things done at once. And then I think our New Holland should be big enough to do that job. Right there, that should be good enough out of the way. Alright, we'll bring this thing back and we'll have the new slurry spreader delivered to the farm. Well, I got the semi back to the farm, and we've got the new slurry tank delivered. Now I just got to come over here and get some slurry. Try to get it filled up. I think we're just going to pull our little portable trailer up here. Figure this is probably going to be the best tractor to use. I don't know if our pickup could do the job or not. I'm not sure how heavy this thing is, but I know this Fint will do the job. I also have one of the hired hands back in the alfalfa field. He's working right now, trying to get it all tedded up. And we'll get a rake over there in a little bit. But first I'm going to go up the hill here and try to get our slurry tank filled up and get him working in the field. Well, I am really glad I got the bigger tractor to do the job pulling this hill. You look at it there, we're only doing like 10 kilometers an hour. I don't know what that is in America, but 10 kilometers somewhere. Here we are just about. Boy, I mean, this is taking everything. Maybe I shouldn't have filled it clear full. I'm not sure how much that field's going to end up needing. Like, oh boy, we're down to like 4 and dropping. 3, 2. Uh-oh. We may not even make it. Wow. I don't think I've ever had this much of a struggle trying to get up this hill. Definitely has some weight. So I know for sure the pickup never would have made it. Ah, we're almost there though. But hopefully this one tank will be enough to do that field. It's not the biggest field. But remember, we also have that field back behind it that we haven't planted yet. That lay dormant all year. Maybe we can actually get this dropped off in it too and get some slurry in it to have it fertilized for when we do plant it. I don't know, here we are in November, if we can plant anything this late. Probably not. I doubt anything will come up before the frost sets in. Wow. Alright, well, I'll stop time here real quick and we'll wait till we get to the top and we'll start filling up that tractor. After the struggles we had pulling the hill made me kind of think back to Dad's old John Deere tractor he had. Boy, that thing couldn't do anything either. It was always struggling to get around. But here we are. This is the new tank I went with. I think that'll work. Whew, stop, stop, stop. Brakes, brakes. Wow. Alright. There. Finally. See if I can get this thing filled up and we'll get in the field. Get a little closer to it. I mean, I meant to stop that trailer in the right spot, but see if I'm not sure how close we need to get. There we go. And that should be close enough to get everything hooked up. Yep, sounds like it's filling. Yep, I hear it flowing into the tank. There we go, it's going down really well. Wish I had a gauge on that tractor to see where it's at, but I think we're going to use, well, maybe it's probably over half of this tank. All right, let's get back in this one, spin around, and we will go get it started in the field. So we get it unfolded. There it goes. I hope it's a little bigger than that. No, that's it. That's not a very wide pass. Oh, let me get her dropped down and get her turned on, and we'll start spreading some manure.
Loma's frost bites like a wolf's cool breath. We huddle close by the fire's gentle grace. With scarf and mittens we break a grave, praying of blossoms and fields of hay. The sun's short day through the bleak and white. Snowflakes fall like whispers in the night. We sketch our dreams in the frozen clay, praying of blossoms and fields of hay. The sun's short day through the bleak and white. Snowflakes fall like whispers in the night. We sketch our dreams in the frozen clay. Prayers rise up for a bright new day.
Well, that was taking a while to spread that slurry up there, so I decided just to grab the rake. I got someone else out here tedding. I'm not sure where they're at, but I thought, you know what, I could rake the field. So that's what I'm going to do. I'm going to finish raking this today, and we're going to have to bale it today. I'm not going to be able to wait till next month, because next month is going to be December, and it might be snow on the ground. I'm not sure. It's Loma. It's been many years since I've been here in the winter, but I'm here now, and we're going to get this thing all baled and taken care of before it's too late. But he's coming along pretty good. He's got quite a bit left, though. He's not even a fourth of the way done. But I'll go continue on here with the rake and get it all raked up, and then we'll grab the baler and come back and get it all finished up today. Well, I just got word that the guy running the slurry wagon had a little incident, so let's get over there and see if we can help him out. They say he went over the embankment. I don't know if the articulating tractor just got away from him or not, but I thought, you know, the only thing to really get up and down those hills safely is this Kubota. So hopefully I can get him and the tank behind him out of there safely. We're just going to cut through. We don't have cows out here anymore, so that makes it kind of convenient for us. But let's pop over this hill up here, and hopefully we can find out where he went to. I mean, he's got the big tractor. I don't have anything bigger to try to pull him out with. I guess we could grab the fent and a chain if we had to, but I'm hoping we can just get to him easily. I don't think he got very far either from what they said on the radio. Now we can just figure out where he ended up going to. Right down one of these embankments here. We got a fence there, so we couldn't have got over that. Ooh, it's kind of steep too. Probably should have brought the horse out here. Might have went a little easier. Oh boy. Oh my goodness. He really got out here a ways. Not sure how I'm going to get that out of there. Alright, let's see if I can just park this here. Hopefully the brake holds good. Alright. Yeah. Oh, that has got a lot of weight right on this little piece here. Alright, let's hop in and see what we can do. Alright, fire it up. See if we can just fold that back mechanism. Just kind of got it jackknifed quite a bit here. See, drag it till we get it on the wheels. There, well, at least we're on the wheels now. If I can just find a level enough way out of here. I mean, it's got the power to climb the hill. I think it does. Well, maybe not. Are we hung up? Oh, yeah, so you can see we're sliding a little bit. Yeah, I think it's going to make it, though. Maybe. I really don't want to leave this implement down here. Yeah, we're making ground. According to our shadow, we're making some ground, although I don't seem to be in the shadow. Huh, odd. Alright, let me get this thing out. We'll get this thing back in the field, and we'll go back to taking care of the hay field. That's, right now, you know, we're down a man over there. We don't have enough hired hands to run everything at once. Still got the one tedding, and then I'm not sure where this guy ran off to. We almost got it up out of the little gully. Alright. I'll get him started back up, and I will get back to the hayfield. Now, hopefully he can remember what he's supposed to do and stay up here. We probably should have him do another couple headlands, and he would have had a little bit better turning around radius. I think I'm actually going to take this tractor with us and leave the Kubota, and we'll put it on the baler. Oop. I actually want to leave that off. There we go. There. Hop in this one. Drop the trailer. There we go. Alright, head back down and we'll get this thing hooked up to the baler. Well, we got all the slurry spread. That field is finished. I got the 2 hired hands in the field, 1 raking and 1 baling. I can go to the house, get cleaned up, and we could head into town and do some door knocking. So yeah, I'm going to try to race the train, but right now I am losing it up. Yep, there he goes. Too bad I didn't have a lasso and you just hook onto it. This little AGCO goes a little slow, but let me go get cleaned up and we'll head to town. Well, I don't know what you think, but I thought we got quite a bit accomplished today with that field on the hill and then that big alfalfa field pretty well all done. But, oh, there's the phone. Let's see who this could be. Unknown caller.
Hello, Mr. Lawrence. This is Chris from Baxter Springs, your brother's friend.
Well, I got some details on last night's phone call with Chris. Chris is actually my brother's hired hand that he had on the farm when he was living. Well, he ended up leaving Chris his farm. So Chris was calling to let me know that they are still in need of a pastor of the church that my brother used to pastor at. So after a night of praying and thinking about it, I have decided I am going to get a farm manager to take care of this Loma farm, my father's farm here, and we are going to pack up and head to Baxter Springs. I think that'd be a good move for our family. You know, I was a missionary overseas up until I got the phone call about, my dad passing away. But that is our game plan for the future here in Loma. Just going to take these bales. I got a guy out. I was helping him load up. He had a lot of bales still. And with snow in the forecast for later today, I kind of want to get those bales out of the field and in a shed. As you can tell, I mean, we have way too many head of cattle that we are not going to be able to survive winter with all these cattle. So I'm going to go ahead. I'm going to park this tractor. I got a new slurry spreader. Well, it's the same slurry spreader, but it's a different attachment, so we can spread it a lot faster. And we're going to spread the slurry in that far field up on top of the hill, try to get that all fertilized, ready to plant for in the springtime. Be one last thing the farm manager has to worry about. But let me get up to the top of the hill and start spreading that slurry. Here we are. This is actually the new implement I got for it. And it won't till the ground or anything, but it'll just spread it on top. So I mean, this is going to do it, oh, I don't know, probably about 8 times the size as the other one. So let me hop in this New Holland here, and we will get down to that field. As you can tell, our monitor is still acting up, but this field he did finish yesterday, so it's all good. The ground is starting to freeze a little bit, so I'm glad we did get all this field done since we had to till it at the same time. As you can tell, that field back there that has the lime spread on it, that is where we're headed. So let me get back there and see how much of that I can get done. I'm pretty sure he filled up the tank before he left last night. We'll find out if we run empty quick, which he really didn't use too much in this field. I forgot there's a driveway right over here, so I don't have to go through any of the gully there. But here, let me spread this thing out and see just how much wider it is. See, that's going to be a lot better than what we were using last night. That should be all the way. And drop it down and turn it on. All right, well, let me get this field all spread, and then we'll see you in just a little bit.
Dusty roads and broken dreams. You walk the path, silent screams, hands of hope and words of grace, healing souls in every place. Shadows long, but faith ain't weak. In every heart he's learned to speak. With every mile his spirit grows, the love of truth and peace he sows. Preacher man with a soul so bright, guided by the holy light. In his brother's footsteps he'll run, spreading joy till day is done. In the town where darkness falls, he's the light who answers calls, mending hearts and lifting eyes to the heavens and the skies.
One thing I am going to do is miss this wonderful view. I mean, you can see so far from up here. It's gonna be bittersweet to leave Loma. But, you know, we'll still have the farm up here. I can always come back and, you know, check things out, help out, maybe in the springtime during the big planting season, and then in the fall for harvest. But yeah, it is quite a view. Quite a view. Let me go ahead and continue spreading this. We've used about 15% so far, and I've not even made one headland around it yet. But back to work. Well, I was not able to beat the snow coming in. We actually haven't got very far. So I don't know how cold it's going to be able to get before I actually start having issues freeze up back there. So I might just go ahead and leave this for the farm manager to finish up. I'll spin around and do one more lap back to get closer to the barn, obviously. And then I will go park this, and we'll start getting ready to head out. Try to beat the snowstorm before it gets so deep that we have trouble getting to the airport. Turn around and I'll do one more pass. Alright, here we go. I think this is a good place to park it as any. The hired hands can come over and help the new farm manager out. I got everything packed up. Everything's in the pickup ready to go. Like I said, you know, the best thing here about Loma is the views. You know, my brother always said Baxter Springs was nothing like back home, but I guess I'll get to find that out for myself. He said Baxter Springs wasn't bad. I mean, I did go visit him a few times. I mean, I was there for the funeral, obviously, and besides that, I mean, I never got around to that part of the country too often. I'm going to miss the house. I mean, it was a beautiful house. But I guess I'm going to stop here and grab old Oliver, our horse, real quick and run out to the cemetery where Mom and Dad are and say my goodbyes there, and then we'll go get on a plane. So we'll see you in just a moment. One thing I'm not going to miss is these cold winters, though. It sure does get cold and deep snow here. Hopefully they're going to have enough shelter for winter. We only got that one little lean-to there. Alright, let me hop off, get the horse up here. Hop off real quick. I guess the next time you guys see me, I'll be in Baxter Springs. So see you in Baxter Springs. Wow, it's like Baxter Springs hasn't changed a bit. This is exactly how it looked last time I was here. I think just right around the corner here should be the church, I believe. Yeah, 'cause that's my brother's mailbox. Well, my late brother's mailbox. I guess it's Chris's mailbox now. There we go. Yep, and there's the church. Chris said he'd meet me up there. So let's see if he's here. All right. Oh, there he is, standing right there. Park right up here behind him. There we go. Oh, howdy, Chris.
Hello, Pastor Lawrence. How was your flight in?
It was a really good flight. Thank you for asking.
Well, that is great to hear. Are you ready to head in and meet your new flock?
I sure am. Let's do this.
And I thank Christ Jesus our Lord, who hath enabled me, for that he counted me faithful, putting me into the ministry.